Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking one of the absolute most unexpected and honestly awe-inspiring intersections in modern healthcare. We're looking at the convergence of a 3,000-year-old holistic science and cutting-edge artificial intelligence. It's a journey that's going to take us from ancient Indian texts literally all the way to deep learning algorithms. Let's get into it. Okay, so on the surface, these seem like two completely opposite worlds, right? I mean, on one side, you have ancient Ayurveda, which is this deeply holistic, qualitative, and highly subjective practice treating the mind, body, and spirit as one complete package. And then on the flip side, you have modern AI, relentlessly data-driven, quantitative, totally objective. But as you'll see today, these two paradigms, they aren't actually at odds at all. Instead, they kind of perfectly complement each other to create what just might be the ultimate future of personalized medicine. So here's our quick roadmap for today. First, the core of Ayurveda. Second, upgrading diagnosis and treatment. Third, global impact and market. And finally, ethics challenges in the future. We are bridging a massive 3,000-year gap here, so let's get moving. All right, kicking things off with section 1, the core of Ayurveda. So the absolute bedrock of Ayurveda's personalized approach to health is this concept called Prakriti. Think of Prakriti as an individual's unique physical, mental, and emotional constitution, and it's determined right at birth. You see, in Ayurveda, there's absolutely no one-size-fits-all treatment. Every single person has a totally unique baseline. And health? Well, health is simply defined as maintaining the balance of your specific baseline. Now, building on that, your Prakriti is made up of a unique combination of 3 biological energies, which are known as the Doshas. First up, we have Vata, representing air and space. This governs movement, breathing, and circulation. Then there's Pitta, made of fire and water, which governs digestion, metabolism, and transformation. And finally, Kapha, representing earth and water, governing structure, stability, and immunity. Now, I really want you to remember these 3 because they are exactly the complex biological energies the AI is eventually going to be trained to measure. But here's the core problem we're facing today. For literally 3 millennia, traditional diagnosis has relied on highly subjective methods. An experienced practitioner might use pulse diagnosis, which is known as nadi pariksha, or a tongue examination, jiva pariksha, to figure out exactly which dosha is out of whack. And while these seasoned practitioners are, incredibly skilled, the process is entirely subjective. It relies heavily on human intuition. Basically, you're relying on the practitioner to act as a human sensor array. And honestly, this lack of hard, objective data poses a massive challenge if we ever want to standardize and scale Ayurveda globally alongside modern medicine. Which brings us to section 2, upgrading diagnosis and treatment. All right, let's walk through this workflow together to see exactly how artificial intelligence transforms this whole process. Step 1 is data collection. And we aren't just talking about your basic health questionnaires here. We're talking about pulling in vast amounts of information from modern sensors, your smartwatch, deep genetic data, and clinical patient histories. Then, we take a massive leap to step 2. This is where AI pattern recognition, things like convolutional neural networks and deep learning algorithms steps in to process all of those highly complex, non-linear patient symptoms. And step 3, well, the algorithm outputs hyper-personalized dietary, lifestyle, and herbal plans. Basically, AI lets us take the deeply individual nature of Ayurveda and back it up with serious, hard-hitting predictive analytics. Let's actually look at some real-world examples of how AI matches traditional herbs to an individual's unique data profile. Take ashwagandha, for example. It's an herb traditionally used for Vata imbalances, specifically stuff like stress and fatigue. Well, AI doesn't just broadly suggest you take it. It actually calculates the precise dosage based on your real-time lifestyle data and sleep metrics. Or for turmeric, which is aimed at Pitta and inflammation, the AI analyzes your specific inflammatory markers to figure out the optimal use. And with Triphala for Kapha and digestion, the AI can actually recommend the exact timing for consumption based on a really detailed analysis of your personal gut microbiome. It's literally precision medicine applied directly to ancient herbal tradition. Now, remember those subjective diagnostic tests we talked about a minute ago? Well, AI is digitizing them. We are literally seeing the digitization of nadi pariksha, or pulse diagnosis. By using highly sensitive sensors paired up with machine learning, modern tools can now instantly identify dosha imbalances with remarkable objective accuracy. They're even using AI-powered facial recognition to detect, say, skin puffiness or redness to instantly flag kapha or pitta imbalances. And they're using speech analysis to detect stress in vocal tones that might indicate a vata imbalance. It turns out your smartwatch and a camera might soon be able to read your dosha way better than you can. Moving on to section 3, global impact and market. $26.16 billion. Let that sink in. That is no exaggeration. That is the projected global Ayurveda market value by the year 2032. To put that into perspective, this massive accelerated growth is being driven heavily by AI commercialization, alongside a tremendous post-pandemic surge in consumer demand for natural, holistic products. So this isn't just a niche wellness trend anymore, guys. It's a booming, multi-billion-dollar global healthcare sector. And this timeline right here brilliantly illustrates just how seriously the global medical establishment is taking the whole thing. Look at this schedule from the World Health Organization. It started back in September 2024, when the WHO held a massive global technical meeting specifically focused on AI and traditional medicine over in New Delhi. And the momentum didn't stop there. Just a month later, in October 2024, they launched a global technical brief on the topic. All of this is rapidly building toward a major crescendo, the WHO Global Summit on Traditional Medicine coming up in November 2025. The WHO is actively out there working on the frameworks to merge AI with traditional global health. Now, to really ground this in reality, let's look at a few of the startups that are actively pioneering this space right now. First, Ayurveda AI. They're a startup using digital biomarkers, genomic markers, and deep learning frameworks to provide highly customized Ayurvedic care. Then, over in Sri Lanka, there's the Ainawarna system. It uses artificial intelligence and a dedicated chatbot to perfectly match patients to the right traditional physicians based on their specific symptoms. And then, there's Nutrify Genie. This is an AI algorithm analyzing over 3 million data points to map bioactives from Ayurvedic plants directly into complex commercial nutraceutical formulations. They are literally taking this sci-fi concept and turning it into tangible global businesses today. All right, final stretch, section 4, ethics, challenges, and the future. Look, while the potential here is absolutely incredible, we do have to look closely at three really critical challenges. First up is data privacy and security. Ayurvedic diagnosis requires highly sensitive, deeply personal, holistic data. We're talking everything from your genetic markers to your emotional state and even your dietary habits. Safeguarding that data, absolutely paramount. But even if the data is totally secure, we still face algorithmic bias. We have to ensure these AI models are trained globally so that the treatments are fair and accurate for everyone, not just folks from specific regions. And finally, as this whole thing scales up, we have to prevent cultural appropriation. We need to rigorously preserve the deep spiritual and cultural traditions of these ancient texts to ensure they aren't just stripped down and commodified for pure profit. So the absolute crucial point to remember here is this. AI should complement, rather than replace, the expertise of practitioners. AI is a phenomenal, incredibly powerful supportive tool, but the human touch, the intuition, the empathetic care of the traditional Vaidya, the Ayurvedic practitioner, that remains completely irreplaceable. Basically, AI provides the highly detailed map, but the human practitioner provides the actual healing. Ultimately, what you really should take away from this explainer is this. AI is providing the robust, modern scientific evidence that Ayurveda has quite frankly long needed for true global medical integration. By using machine learning to analyze all the vast, non-linear complexities of herbs, genetics, and doshas, technology is finally validating what traditional practitioners have literally known for thousands of years. It's proving its effectiveness to the exacting standards of modern pharmacology. Precision medicine is the ultimate goal here, for sure. So I want to leave you with this final, kind of provocative question to ponder. How will the ultimate synergy between ancient nature and modern code shape your own healthcare future? Think about it. We are standing right on the brink of a deeply personalized, highly predictive, and holistically grounded medical revolution. It's a brand new era where wellness is truly individualized. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.